Last week we had it was a bearish week, as you would expect. Remember that we are chasing all-time highs, so every um bearish week, that's a retracement, but a retracement to where we had this fair value gap coupled with this gap here as well, this volume imbalance here. So ICT recommends that we highlight the entire gap. Now I want you to pay attention to this candle here. This is the weekly time frame. Even though we were bearish, right, the body closed at the upper quadrant of this volume imbalance, and we also had this bullish order block as well. Now my draw is, I want to see if I am bullish, right? I want to see that weekly Judy swing. I want to see us trading low, so I'm paying attention to the week and the consequent encroachment of the week, because weeks are also imbalances. So remember, I would prefer to see this wick, this low here, being traded into. I don't want to see price actually trading back to this low here. So that means I look at the half of the wick and the upper quadrant as the most sensitive price points, if I am bullish. So I'm looking at the consequent encroachment and the upper quadrant of this week. You can take this as a, what is that, CRT. I don't know, there's this one they call it CRT whatnot, I don't know, but we have ran sell side. Let me just do this now. When determining a daily bias, right, because knowing your bias is so important in trading. There are 5 questions that I usually ask myself when determining my daily bias. This is how I underline my bias. The first question that I'll ask myself, that I usually ask myself, is where are we right now, right? This is where we are. This is Monday. This was Friday's candle, which just right at the low of this CV here, right? Where did we come from? We came from this swing high here, which is the new all-time high, right? And where did we just leave? We just left the discount of this this range here. And if you pay attention, we have this this BC, and we have this volume imbalance as well, so we're just gonna highlight the entire gap. This is our discount volume imbalance. Now we also have this bullish order block and this inversion fair value gap, which I'm just gonna highlight. Now with these two PD arrays, this volume imbalance, inversion fair value gap, and this bullish order block that is inside this inversion fair value gap. So I'm not expecting to see us trading to the swing low here, right? Because I am bullish on the long run. I'm chasing all-time highs. So each and every every down close candle, to me, it's a retracement back, a retracement to discount PD arrays. Now with the bodies as well, you can clearly see that the bodies kept on closing on the upper quadrant, the upper half of this gap, even though we wicked outside this volume imbalance into this inversion fair value gap. However, we traded where to the consequent encroachment and returned back into the upper half of this gap here. So this tells me what? Price is unwilling to trade low. So I'm not expecting heaviness to the downside. I don't want to see this low. Now with that also in mind, I can remove this. So this candle here actually showed me that actually price is not willing to trade lower, right? Because of the bodies as well. This volume imbalance here kept on holding price from actually trading low, even though we wicked outside. this wick here was only to cause the damage. Run sell side, we have this relative equal lows. We did that, and this week we actually gapped higher, which is something that I would want to see. Why would I want to see us gapping high? Is that gap there, I would want to see it being treated as support. So I'm looking at the wick, the consequent encroachment of the wick on the weekly time frame, and this one on the daily time frame as well. So I can just do this. It's okay. I can just highlight between the two consequent encroachments. Yeah, I can remove this. I don't need it anymore. This one as well. So if we do trade low, this here is my point of interest. Remember, I don't want to see this low being traded back to at all, right? We've already patched sell side, and if you can go to the lower time frame, I would want to expect to see what speed to the upside of the market. So we've just we ran sell side, then we had a strong displacement to the buy side, right, to the upside of the market. So what is this? This is a breaker. We have a low, high, lower low, displacement to the buy side. So that's a change in market structure. What is my drawn liquidity? For now, my drawn liquidity will be this relative equal highs, smooth highs, very smooth, very smooth highs. Would I like price to trade back here? No, not really. However, though, I would prefer that we leave this fair value gap here open, or we trade to the consequent encroachment. So that means I would prefer not to see the lower half being traded back to, right? So I'm only looking at the consequent encroachment and the upper quadrant of this gap here. But I don't want to see us trading back to this low here, the swing low here, because it has already done the damage. We have smooth liquidity resting above there. That's just too sweet, too smooth for me. Now we have this short-term low and the new week opening gap. I usually use this this indicator here. Is what ICT new week opening gap, new day opening gap by Friday. So we have this new week opening gap, which I'll be paying attention to, and also this new week opening gap as well, that formed on the 8th of December, and the one on the 15th. So those will be areas where price could actually act as resistance. But since we have already traded into the new week opening gap, I want to see how we trade around this new week opening gap. Like I said, it's permissible even if we trade below the new week opening gap, seeking the short-term low here. However, I don't want to see price trading to the lower half of this gap here. That will be my sell side liquidity, and I'm looking at the consequent encroachment as well, because we also have smooth. Besides those highs, my short-term draw for Monday will be this relative equal highs it created, right? So we have already patched sell side liquidity here. So any drop, right, I'm not expecting to see us taking out the swing low here. However, I would want to see this imbalance here act as my support, and this volume imbalance as well. We might actually wick just to run the short-term low, but I'm okay with that. And this line here, it's the volume imbalance, the one that formed on the 8th of December. So that could also act as a point of resistance. However, I love how this smooth highs it created here. That's just it's something that I would expect the market to do. So I'm just gonna wait for the New York Open, the AM Open, and see we do see any signs of a bullish market. But then my first draw on liquidity for today, just by paper trading, because I'll just be paper trading. I don't trade on Mondays. But my draw on liquidity is this relative weaker highs that it had created. It might not even take them out today. It might consolidate the whole day, I don't know. But however, I am bullish for the coming weeks. Now I'm on the 15-minute time frame. So if we do trade to the sell side here, if we do run the sell side, this imbalance here is the one that is of most importance to me. Why? Because it's at the consequent encroachment. So I can refine my things now to this. I think I can remove this. It's fine. Can remove these lows, because I know now that if we even do trade even lower, if we do have continue with a bearish order flow, right? So that means this imbalance here, this discount fair value gap, and this discount bullish order block, those are my last line of defense, because I don't want to see this long being traded at, right? So this imbalance here and this bullish order block are my last line of defense. However, overall bias is bullish. Narrative will be determined during the AM session. I'll just tape read the whole session from 9:30 up until 11 or 12 AM Eastern time. So my points of interest is the sell side, this BC here, so this is how we stand right now. So I'm just gonna lay low and wait for the New York session. I'm bullish. I am bullish. So that's it for me for now. Then I'll be live again for tape reading. 9:30 AM Eastern time, just after the opening range. And we tape read, man. This is my last week trading. Then I'll just take a break up until January. I don't know when, but I'll notify everyone. So I'm busy sorting out the Telegram. The Discord will be free. So this is how we stand. This is how we are standing right now. So, and nice. This is also a dealing range. Why? Because we've run sell side, we've also run buy side as well. So I can just do this. So you can clearly see that this imbalance here is the one that is of importance. Why? This is the consequent encroachment and the midpoint of this dealing range as well on the 15-minute time frame. And this will be my discount PD arrays that I'm expecting to see price hold price actually from trading to this low here. So it's this discount fair value and this discount bullish order block if price does not respect this BC here and decides to trade even lower. So now just need to be patient, and yeah, I think that's it for me for now. I'll be live again during the day, tape reading there, AM session. It's gonna be a good one. And okay, now I'm just waiting for that macro 950 1010. We're currently trading inside that new week opening gap. We've just ran the short-term low here, so now I'm waiting to see how we close this a close candle here. So if I see if we close above this high here, this down close candle, right, I'm waiting to see if we close above it, and if we do, I want to buy below the midnight open and seeking the short-term high, and this buy side liquidity. I think that this is that 830 open, this candle here. Now on US 500, we've ran sell side liquidity, and we made a swing low, right? So I'm waiting to see if this can be a breaker for me. So the only way for me to actually start seeing a bullish so we've just ran sell side on US 500. However, we failed to run sell side on US 100. So it's a little bit of SMT day, right? So that's also a confirmation, but that can only happen if we close above this down close candle here. If that does not happen, I'm not entering any trade at all. But because it's Monday, you would expect to see consolidation. However, though, you always want to buy below the midnight open price, and you always want to sell above the midnight open. So right now everything just waiting for that confirmation. So now from 9:30 up until 10 o'clock, sellers have been making money, right? So I'm just waiting to hit that, waiting for macro, that 10:50, yeah, 11:10, and I'm gonna trade against those who have been bearish during the opening range. Now I'm only gonna buy, and my first draw on liquidity being this short-term high here, if we close above this consecutive down close candles here, and with speed. I want to see speed. I want to see so since we've already ran sell side liquidity, if I do see speed and we close above the high of this down close candle here, I'm gonna trade the inversion fair value gap, and I would love to see this gap being left open, or the consequent encroachment, if we are really in a bullish run. It might and it might not do that, but at least leave the lower half open. I think that will be my first entry. Then I'm gonna seek the short-term highs and let another entry trail up until we run buy side. We might not even run buy side yet, but if we close above this high here, and I see large expansion candles, I'm confident that we might actually go even higher than that. So that means I wanna see this being treated as an inversion fair value gap. This gap here. I wanna see price use this gap here as an inversion level. I love how we left this gap open. This confirms that we are really in a bullish run, and I should expect bullish price. You see that we closed, traded back into that inversion level. So now I want to see us closing above this the high of this down close candle, and with displacement. Also have this bullish order block as well. So I'm looking at the bullish order block, and like I said, I prefer to see this gap here being left. I want to see this gap being left open, being treated as a breakaway gap. So meaning this gap here, this should be my inversion fair value gap, and I want to see price using this as support. So now I'm looking at the consequent encroachment of this gap here, I mean this wick. That's I want to see the consequent encroachment of this wick here. Sure. You can trade into this fair value gap here, but I don't want it to close on the lower half of the gap. But I would highly prefer unwillingness of price to trading back into this fair value gap, and actually using this bullish order block to offer us support. I'm looking at this relative equal highs. Yeah, it seems to be struggling a bit there. I'm just waiting for the 1050 1110 macro. But I just think this relative equal highs is just too smooth. They're just too smooth. Even if it decides not to trade even higher, right? But I just feel like They might want to come and try to rebalance this BC, ECB. But we have this bullish order block. I would like to see it offer resistance and not allow price actually to trade back into this imbalance here. It might weak on the upper half of it, but I would prefer it closing above, but not trading into this fair value gap at all. So that means this order block here is my line of defense from price rebalancing this imbalance here. Yeah, that's what I like to see. That's what I want to see. Now that can only be if we close above this down close candles here, that I'm gonna seek. I would seek an entry and looking at those relative equal highs. So let's have a portion block. I don't like how we failed to close above this down close candle here. But I'm just waiting to see if this inversion fair value gap can offer us support alongside this bullish order block, seeking those relative equal highs. But I just don't like how we failed to close above the high of this down close candle here. I think for me that would be a low probability entry if I were to buy this. But I want to see this inversion fair value gap offer us support if we are really bullish. Just remove this for now. which is red. So we just patched the short-term low here and traded on the upper half of this fair value gap, right, which is I want it to act as my breakaway gap. Now if I can see speed above this high here, right, then I'm gonna go and look for an entry and seeking buy side, because that will be my low, high, lower low, higher high. Then if it retrace, I'm looking at that inversion fair value, right, and the consequent encroachment of this up close candle. That means only if I close above this high here. If that does not happen, I'm not looking for any entry at all. Some days the market doesn't give you any entries. You just have to like go with it, and I don't know what I was saying. We are experiencing a high liquidity market profile. I don't like trading Mondays. Remember, I can still allow price to trade into this fair value gap, right? I'm okay with that. I can still allow it. Or it might happen that today it might just consolidate, Tuesday come and just rebalance this imbalance here and start looking for buy side. I don't know. It's possible. But that's why I don't like trading on Mondays. I prefer not to trade Mondays. I want to see if this bullish order block can offer us with support. But I just like how we failing to close, especially at the consequent encroachment and the lower half of this fair value gap. I'm looking at the consequent encroachment of this wick here. If we are really bullish, I would like to see the lower half, actually the low, in fact, being left open. No man, not being traded to. So I'm looking at the consequent encroachment in the upper half of this week. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. You see how we failed to close below that, and looking at the consequent encroachment. Now, this is the time where I can say, you know what? If we do trade low, I'm looking for an entry. we still have that but I'd prefer it left open. I don't think it's relevant for now because we have this full this fair value gap, which I would like to see price not trading back to it at all. But this 3 consecutive down close candles which form which is a bullish order block on the higher time frame. See how we traded back into the high and we started showing signs of rallying higher. Now we created a fair value gap here. I think this fair value gap I'll trade it, and looking for a run higher. What am I doing? Yeah, this offers me like 100 points. Oh, it's too much, man. It's too much, but I'll just hit the low of this candle. This would be a nice entry. But I would prefer seeing it being left open. If it really does leave it open, that means we're still gonna rally higher. So we also have this order block, right? So that meaning I can go for an entry even here as well. This would have been a nice entry because I'll be looking at the consequent encroachment of this week here. This will be an entry just in case we don't trade back into this imbalance here. You see, now this would also have been an entry, a nice entry, because remember, I would prefer to see these gaps left open, right? If he does trade back into this imbalance here, then I'm looking at the consequent encroachment and the upper half of it. So I'm gonna take just a single entry, looking at the consequent encroachment of this week. Then I'm just gonna put my stop loss just below this fair value gap, and my TP will be just right about there. And of course I'm gonna take another entry back inside this fair value gap, and I'm just gonna drag my stop loss just below this low here. I think my first partial will be on this premium fair value gap, then my second partial will be the high of this range. Remember, this is a paper trading account. This is not real money. I like how we closed outside of this of that fair value gap. We have this discount fair value gap. So we are in the discount. Exit. I want to see a first move above this high, and if I do see a first move above this high, then it's possible that we might even trade higher. But because it's Mondays you usually expect to see consolidation in the market. Usually what happens is we see there's a lot of consolidation. Did I put my stop loss below this low here? I'm looking at this low here because we might run the short-term low, but like I said, now if I decide to stretch my stop loss below the consequent encroachment of this gap, I think it will be like too much. So even if it takes me out here, I'm okay with that. So I'm just waiting to see if we can run buy side during the 1050 1110 macro. Can this fair value gap hold price? Oof. Since it's Monday, we don't know. Know how Mondays goes. Actually, I'm just gonna second tip will be at the midnight open price, but my first partial will be on this fair value gap, this premium fair value gap. Come on, offer us something. Don't want to find yourself in such situations. Oof. Ah, that's why I hate Mondays, man. Imagine you're in this kind of situation, man. That would be frustrating. Like, it would be frustrating a lot. That's why I hate Mondays. I prefer not to trade Mondays. prefer not to trade Mondays. But this is something that I like to see, but I want to see speed and volatility above this short-term high here. And if I do see that, oh yeah, baby, I'm aiming for the midnight open. So meaning I want to close above the high of this fair value gap, which we did. Now, can it use this fair value gap as an inversion level? Now, let me just... I think I can take my stop loss just below this low here. When I see volatility and price closing above that high there. I think I'm just gonna put my attention on this fair value gap instead. Sorry, I don't want to see us trading below the half of it, the lower half of it, the lower quadrant. Actually, not trading at this this breakaway gap at all. But because we haven't closed above the short-term high here, it could trade back into this imbalance, but I prefer to see it not doing that. You never find yourself trading Mondays, ever. I think the only nice entry today was only this short here, because of price failing to actually close above the 830 open. That would also be a confirmation that our price is not yet willing to trade higher. However, we have liquidity resting below there, and we made a lower low, so we traded back into that discount or premium, if I may say, fair value gap, seeking what sell side. So this would have been a nice entry. I think this was like the only trade. Then we started jerking and just consolidating. Because I think, for me, like price is just preparing itself for tomorrow, because I usually just to create lows and generate more liquidity on the upside. you know, so that because I'm thinking, because with those relative equal highs there, that's just super nice liquidity resting there. So I'm just waiting to see how we trade around this short-term high here. But I love the volatility in the market. That seems to be great. So now this is my inversion fair value gap. I think I'm gonna adjust my stop loss. If we do close above this short-term high here, I'm gonna adjust my stop loss just below the consequent encroachment of this inversion fair value gap. Like I said, I don't like when this happens. When it fails to close above the high, I usually just wait for the second candle, and if the second candle as well fails to close above the high, that's a low probability. That's a low probability change in state of delivery. But I like the speed. This is something I want to see. This is something I like to see. And if you pay attention, beautiful opportunities all usually happen during what? The macro hour. Those 20 minutes. So now we have this fair value gap, which is something that I'm sorry for that. So now we have Like I said, this will be my first partial on this premium CB, because usually price will just wanna be creating those relative equal highs, just generate more liquidity for tomorrow. But we have that small fair value gap. I'm looking at it as well. But leaving this gap open, so whenever I'm expecting speed, right, I always want to see those fair value gaps being left open and being treated as breakaway gaps. So we have a breaker, even though we had this wick below, but I'm looking at the bodies. So we have a low, high, lower low, higher high. So this is my breaker. So I'm just gonna drag my stop loss just below the consequent encroachment of this gap here. So if I'm stopped out, it's okay. I'm good with that. But I am expecting a bullish market. It might not be today, but it might be tomorrow. But I'm expecting bullish market this week. Oh my, to worship you, Lord. It made way. How can never sing your song? Slow Mondays with crazy. I think I just put my trade in break even because it's it's over 1 hour 30 minutes and the market is so slow. So even if it takes me out, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being left with a break even, left. It's a slow market. It's a slow market, but if you pay attention, what happened here, it's similar to what happened here. So you see how macros play a huge role in the market. Study your macros. Study your macros, man. I'm so tired, man. Nothing but the blood of Jesus that can take me whole again. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Brand the short-term low. Can it leave this fair value gap open? Can it be hitting stop loss on a Monday, man? This guy might kill your mood for the whole week. It's best to be to be stopped at break even. But I love how we failed, even though we wicked inside this fair value gap, but we never closed inside of it, and we didn't even reach the consequent encroachment or the lower half of it. I love that. Now if we do close above this high here, I'm gonna take my stop loss and put it below this short-term low here. Why this short-term low? Because we've already run this other short-term lows, so the damage is done. We are seeking buy side. Because I want this to be treated as a order block. There we go. Created the fair value gap as well. So I can drag my stop loss and just put it below this swing low here, as I'm trailing my first partial. Now I'm gonna take my first partial at the consequent encroachment, because if you can see the consequent encroachment of this premium fair value gap, this premium CB, it's also the consequent encroachment of this wick here. I don't know if you see that. That's why I don't like Mondays, man. Because of, look, when did this happen? Macros, man, macros. If you give yourself time to study macros, so we have a premium favor. But because this order blocks are not gonna be stable enough, unlike order blocks on the discount, right? Because these are premium order blocks, so they are not as strong and stable as the ones on the discount. I'm taking my first partial at the consequent encroachment. I'll just drag it just below this low here. Because I'm so tired and I'm not like in the mood to like just shave the whole 2 hours long, man. On a Monday, come on. So even if I'm stopped out, I'm stopped out on a positive. It's a it's a good way to start a Monday. Oh jeez, I forgot. Seems like it's not willing to, to trade back there. It's possible that it just wants to create more liquidity. Then maybe tomorrow run this relative equal lows and trade back into this imbalance and continues trading higher, or it might not do that. But remember, we are still below the midnight open. Yeah, nigga. I love volatile markets, man. When the market is not volatile, it's so boring because now you have to stay out, sit for hours, man. It's crazy. I just love how we never closed below the consequent encroachment, even though it opened lower, right, and started rolling high, but still shows that the consequent encroachment of this imbalance is still holding price. So it's possible that it might still rally to the high, to the and still rally and seek buy side. I think I'll just take one partial. Just in case it's not willing to trade back there and start rallying low, at least I know that I took a partial out. And stop us just below this imbalance here. Param 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 param. So we have this premium order block. I'm overly exhausted now, man. I'm just gonna take my partial here and just call it a day as well.